Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. As you can see, I am not in my native habitat today, so I have been on the road helping people learn about human design. I want to talk to you about the outer planet Uranus and some big shifts that we're about to see. Now, I'm not going to talk specifically about a lot of the stuff that's coming up with Uranus. I'm actually going to be doing a special Human Design Evolution update specifically about Uranus and this big shift that's about to happen on May 15 that's going to dramatically change. And whenever we're talking about Uranus, we're always talking about dramatic change. Dramatically change our perspective, what we need to do to wake up, what we are waking up in our life, and brings with it the possibility of some really powerful, huge potentials for growth and expansion. But in human design, because of the way the planets move through the gates and the hexagrams, we oftentimes get to see the energy or the theme of shifts that bigger planetary movements make a little bit early. So when we talk about in traditional astrology, the shadow sides or the beginning energy surges of planetary changes, let me just assure you that we're in it. We're already in the beginning of a big planetary change that is destined to happen on May 15, but you're probably already feeling it. And it's bringing with it the idea or the theme of innovation. Now, in human design, the energy of innovation and mutation is all about change. It brings with it the potential for transformation. It brings with it the opportunity for really huge dramatic shifts. And certainly with Uranus being at play here, the potential for us to start seeing some really big changes in the way in which we do life, in the way in which we do relationships, the way in which we do finances and banking, in the way in which we ground all the work that we've been doing over the last almost a decade, really since about 2011, everything that you've been growing, everything you've been wrestling with, everything you've been challenged by, all that fire, that energy of trying to push forward and never quite getting it out there, never quite getting momentum with it, that's all about to change. And our sun, our solar energies this week are bringing us sort of preemptive themes, preparing us for the beginning of a brand new Uranian cycle that really is going to ground in us the actions necessary to facilitate all that change that you've been doing and attending to over the last few years. We have been in a deeply introspective cycle for a long, long time, and certainly the momentum of this year has been building. We've had some really great celestial support this year for starting to really move into a cycle of grounded creativity. This new cycle that Uranus brings us sort of deepens that. And so all of this work that you've been looking at around clearing your old thoughts, clearing your old belief systems, clearing your old patterns, clearing anything on the internal plane is now about to bear fruit. And it's about to bear fruit provided that, and this is the key piece, provided that you are in alignment. You can't make changes on the mental plane and then go off and behave the way you used to behave. You can't say, okay, I see my radiant, healthy, dynamic body and still eat Cheetos and lay on the couch. You're not going to get the benefits of the grounded nature of this wakeful energy that Uranus is bringing us. This power to not only transform our lives, but to transform our lives by virtue of giving us that extra added juice of, okay, you're going to transform your life, you got to do the work. You got to ground it. You got to be a fully fledged human being. And you have to be a fully fledged human being that's not so dense that you forget to connect to bigger source, but a fully fledged human being that is bridging beautifully. Quantum, right? It's fifth dimensional living. Bridging beautifully that awareness that whatever we create first, we create in the quantum field. We create by virtue of our emotional experience, our emotional alignment, our imagination and what our imagination stirs up in us by diligent and consistent tending to the nature of our creative power, and then also taking the right actions. This is a new thing for us. We have, of course, been thinking about it for a while. Now we're going to get to actually do it. Put pedal to the metal and harness that creative power, bring it down onto the earthly plane, and really put heaven and earth together in a huge creative revolution, I think, my opinion. So I think we're in the cusp of this, of really beginning to see revolutions in a lot of different areas in a lot of different ways, particularly in the way in which we look at the theme of sustainable peace and sustainable resources. And certainly the planetary energies are supporting us in waking up to that possibility. But here's what I want you to think about working on this week, and I want you to understand that this is imperative. We're getting a little training. We have this Uranus and Taurus energy until November. We get a little bit of a break, and then it comes back again next year. And when it comes back again next year, we're in it for the duration. We're in it for almost a decade. So what I want you to think about and practice from this moment on until November is holding on to your own vision, your own direction, your own dream, your own desire for what you want in your life. I want you to hold on to the possibility that things could be better and more expansive and more beautiful and more abundant and more sustainable than maybe you've ever allowed yourself to experience them before. But you can't get there if you don't hold on to that vision. So we really are being trained for the rest of the year to not let any other outside forces, your old emotions, your old emotional patterns, other people's emotions, if you're emotionally open, other people's expectations, what's in the news, the weather, whatever is going on in your life right now that you're not liking, that you might have up until this point been using as an excuse to not tend to your vibration, to not take care of your habits, to not be consistent, to not come from an aligned place. That has to stop. The goal right now and for the rest of the year is to learn how to drop into this centered, grounded place and to hold that place no matter what's blowing through your reality, no matter what shows up, no matter how it looks on the outside. Remember that we are laying the seeds in consciousness and through our actions that are setting the foundation for dramatic change. Dramatic change that is ushering in an era of sustainable peace and sustainable resources. But as a result of that change, we're being invited to rethink everything, literally, and not just rethink it, but to begin to act on our new thoughts, our new ideas, our new expectations, our new beliefs. It is a time to get to work. So I'll have more on this. I'm going to actually make a special human design evolution report just about Uranus in the next couple days. And you can join me on my Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Human Design for Everyone. And on that page, we'll be talking about, on Friday, 1 o'clock Central Time on the Quantum Alignment Show, we're going to be talking about Uranus and the changes that you can expect to see with Uranus this year and for the next decade. Have a great week.